Okay, fantastic. So welcome everybody to today's very special webinar, How to Trade Cryptocurrencies with myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So during today's session, we will go through how to trade cryptocurrencies. We'll be going through live market analysis. We'll go through a forecast of where we expect cryptocurrencies to be heading next. We will, of course, be answering questions and providing live support during today's session as well. So before we get into it, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is regarded as the go-to authority on commodities trading, and as internationally respected experts, our analysis and our opinions on the metals, the energies, cryptocurrency markets, they're routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, which include Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal. Over the last 10 years, myself and my team of experts, we have trained and mentored thousands of private traders from all over the world on our exclusive research-driven strategies. So for further information on our services, please just go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. From there, you can find out more about the programs that we offer at the Gold and Silver Club. I would definitely also encourage you to go over to our YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you will be kept updated with all of the latest reports in the markets as well. In fact, what I will do, I will see if I can put that into the chat function there for you all, so you've got access to that as well. There you go. So that is the, let's have a look if that allows me to do so. Okay, there you go. So if you want to get kept updated complimentary with our weekly reports and our midweek reports as well at the Gold and Silver Club, just make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you're also kept updated with all of the latest reports as well. Okay, fantastic. So let's get into it. And today's session, we're really going to be focused on the cryptocurrencies that you should know about, the breaking news items in these markets right now, and also, of course, how you can actually get access to those and trade them via binary.com as well. So the top cryptocurrencies you should know about, number one, of course, is Bitcoin. So that's the original cryptocurrency, the one that started it all. Bitcoin was created and released in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto, an anonymous figure. Bitcoin has the biggest market cap to date of around 284 billion, which overshadows all the other cryptocurrencies in the list combined. Now, the performance of Bitcoin over 2017 saw Bitcoin, of course, rise over 2,000%. And this, of course, attracted a lot of media attention. It started the year trading at $1,000. At its peak, it managed to break out to $20,000. And it closed the year around $14,000. So we saw incredible gain, over 2,000% move over 2017. And that is, of course, where we've seen a lot of hype about the cryptocurrencies, and there's been a lot of interest in these markets. Now, one point I think it's worthwhile having on the radar, especially given the quarter that we're moving into now, which is the last quarter of the year. We're now into 24th of October, so we've essentially got a couple more months of the year, about another week or so left of October. Then we're moving into November and December. Now, purely from a point of view, from a seasonal point of view, you want to be aware that it is this time of year, and especially November and December, where from a seasonal bias, cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, usually tend to pick up momentum to the upside. If you have a look at the average here, average return over October since 2014, it's been approximately a 21% increase. From November, it's been approximately just over a 23% increase. And from December, it's 16%. That's the average that we've tended to see over the last 4 years here for this time of year. So just take that into account as we head into November, as we head into December. It tends to be, just from a seasonal point of view, a stronger time of year for the cryptocurrencies. Now, right now, in terms of where we are within the market cycle, and I like to look at this on a daily basis, I'm always looking at fear and greed in the market. And right now, there's still a lot of fear around cryptocurrencies. We've recently seen pullbacks on Bitcoin back towards $6,000, although it broke out last weekend, but then pulled back again. We've got Ethereum trading just around $200, Litecoin around the $50 to $55 mark. They're still quite low relative to their all-time highs. And we've been consolidating at quite key accumulation zones now for really the last couple of months or so. And what you want to look at when you're looking to invest or trade the cryptocurrencies is the best time to look at accumulating and getting in is essentially where there is extreme fear in the market. It comes down to fear and greed, and you need to do the reversal of what most market participants or the herd mentality are doing, which is normally they're getting FOMO, the fear of missing out, when the price goes up very high. They chase the move, they get in at the highs, and you may know some people like that who got into Bitcoin at the highs at the beginning of the year when it was trading above 15, 16,000. You may know some people got into Ethereum above $1,000, or if they bought Litecoin above $300. Those sort of moves would have been when there's extreme greed in the market. It's been all over the press at the time that, have you got cryptos, and you've got lots of news items which are really advertising cryptos in a big way, from Facebook adverts, Google adverts, and it was just really in your face around the peak prices, which was at the end of last year. And that's really when there was extreme greed in the market. And when there's extreme greed, this is typically the time to be selling, banking your profits, and not buying when there's extreme greed. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, you don't necessarily want to be selling when there's extreme fear in the market. And we're pretty much at the lowest level that we've seen throughout this year. So we're currently, even today, at 23 on the gauge, which would suggest that we're right back at the accumulation zone. And certainly a lot of the news in the crypto space right now is infrastructure wise very bullish. It's becoming a much more mature market. We've seen a lot of additional news come out recently regarding TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, the backed exchange, which I'll go through shortly, which is all positive developments for the crypto market. But the sentiment, the price has not caught up for the time being with the overall sentiment in the crypto space right now. In terms of fear and greed, we're still at the lower end of the range, and there's still a lot of traders and investors that are fearful about cryptocurrencies at the moment. Now, what will be interesting is you can probably note this cycle, and this is, of course, the cycle of fear and greed in the market. And what you tend to see when any market goes through a parabolic rise and then the subsequent decline, and I would say we reached probably the peak of the sell-off around mid-August time for the cryptocurrencies. There have been quite a few cryptos that put in their low around mid-August, particularly the altcoins, but even Bitcoin as well, where it briefly dropped below about $6,000 but recovered. And we're probably at the point now, there's still a lot of fear in the market, but we're on the verge of this sort of slow grind, which could pick up momentum as we go into November and December. But I would definitely say we've been through all of these periods, certainly at the end of last year, beginning of the year. We've been through the thrill and the euphoria, the optimism in the market, the complacency in January when a lot of traders are buying very near the all-time highs, the anxiety as the price has corrected very significantly. We've gone through capitulation moves. We've gone through a lot of traders being fearful and angry about the move that they've seen so far in 2018, where it's managed to continue to sell off over about 10 months now. We've seen the decline from the beginning of the year, and we're probably at the sort of peak fear right now, as you can see from the gauge I've just gone through, where you'll see a lot of traders, as even if the price rises, they'll think it's a sucker rally and they won't necessarily want to get involved in cryptos because they just think it will get sold off again, or they think cryptocurrencies are dead and so forth. But then what you want to look at is you want to really bear in mind what is happening in the crypto space right now. And these are three major news items which are all going to be occurring over the next quarter, which you should have on your radar. Number one is Backed, okay? So that is a global digital asset exchange being put together by the Intercontinental Exchange, known as ICE, which is the owner and operator of the New York Stock Exchange. Backed will provide institutional money managers with custody and a regulated secure platform. That is going to make it very accessible for traders worldwide to get into the market. Okay, so retail traders are institutional traders as well. They're also looking to do a partnership with Starbucks, which would then now enable them to take payments in cryptocurrencies, which would be huge. Of course, if you could pay for your Starbucks with cryptos, that's a big move towards major adoption, mainstream adoption. Then we have TD Ameritrade. They recently announced a partnership with an exchange called ErixX, and they're going to be like Backed, regulated digital asset exchange with custodial solutions. The big thing about TD Ameritrade, which is of course really big in America, it has over 11 million funded customers with over 1.2 trillion in assets under custody. You have to look at the market cap with cryptos right now. It's above 200 billion. But you've got a lot of additional capital, which TD Ameritrade, over 11 million funded customers, could bring into the market. And they don't have to go through the pain of signing up with an exchange, like figuring out how to manage their private keys, their public keys, and having concerns about safe storage. It's a bit like what you can do on binary.com, where you don't need to have to mess about with all of the security with cryptos, private keys, and that all happens over this quarter. And then you've got Fidelity Investments, which are huge. They recently announced they're launching crypto products before the end of the year. Fidelity is much bigger than TD Ameritrade. They have 27 million customers with accounts up to 6.9 trillion in assets under custody. Fidelity will again make it much easier to invest in cryptocurrencies. So when you hear about all this talk about institutional capital and additional retail clients getting access to the market, this is it. And this is all going to be happening over this quarter. But we're not seeing that have an impact on price yet because it hasn't happened. So this is going to, or scheduled to happen over November and December. And we've also got the launch of the ETF, which everyone's waiting for. But the ETF is not going to be as important as these three major news items: backed, TD Ameritrade, and also Fidelity Investments. Okay, so that could be really important to the cryptocurrency space, and that's what I would look out for, particularly over November and December. It's good timing to be on the webinar today, guys, just to learn a bit more about these news items, and go and do your own research, of course. Have a look into those and you can find out more. But it's important, if you trade cryptos, to be savvy about the latest news items and fundamentals in the market. Now, as well as Bitcoin, we also have Ethereum, Ether, which is a cryptocurrency for Ethereum, decentralized platform that can execute peer-to-peer smart contracts. As of September 2016, Ethereum was split into two. You've got Ethereum, which is ETH, and Ethereum Classic, which is ETC. Okay, so the performance in 2017 was also exponential. We saw the price start off around $8-9 at the beginning of the year last year, and it peaked up over $1,400 over 2017. So it was incredible gain on Ethereum. What you want to look at with the cryptos, and when you're trying to get your head around it, if you're new to cryptocurrencies, is the whole concept of transactions. Okay, so when you're trading cryptos, obviously you're more focused on the actual price, whether it's going to, if you're buying or selling, you want to be making a profit on the tradable transaction. But if you're actually using it from a user case point of view, you're more interested in speed, cost, and scalability. So for example, you've got Ethereum, which if you send some Ethereum or Ether from one wallet to another, the time it takes is approximately about just under 5 minutes, and then the cost to use about 46 cents, thereabouts. It fluctuates. So that's pretty quick. Okay, so it's quite fast to send Ethereum. It's faster than sending Bitcoin. If you do a Bitcoin transaction, it can take up to an hour. It will cost you more. It's about $1.88. Sometimes it will take more than an hour, but Bitcoin's quite slow. So ideally, if you're transporting wallet to wallet, you want to go with a faster means of doing that. Now, Ripple, of course, which has been tested by several banks, Santander are using them. That takes super fast, 3.3 seconds, huge scalability for that, and the cost is like 0.0004 cents. So that's very fast way of doing transactions. Litecoin also very popular because it's really cheap. So Litecoin also got good scalability, and there's a lot of talk about Litecoin is going to get more mainstream adoption, particularly as a means of payment, because it is so fast. It's pretty cheap as well to do transactions in Litecoin. So for those who actually hold the physical of these cryptos and doing transactions and are wanting to use them in the future for pay for items or send from wallet to wallet and so forth, you're more interested in the speed, cost, scalability, and so forth. And that's where you want to be a bit more savvy on the cryptos, understand what they do. So Ripple is a real-time currency exchange settlement system and remittance network. The cryptocurrency is called Ripples. It was released in 2012 with a current market capitalization of 18 billion. The Ripple system has been successfully integrated into a number of major banks and payment systems to reduce costs. Okay, so very important. And so from that point of view, it's very fast to do transactions. It rivals Swift, and it climbed over 7,000% in 2017. It's the third most valuable cryptocurrency behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, at its peak at the beginning of this year, end of last year, it rose over $3 before correcting back below $1 again. Now, Litecoin was released in October 2011 by former Google employee Charlie Lee as an alternative to Bitcoin. It's faster than Bitcoin, it's cheaper, and it can be mined, used as currency, transacted for goods and services. as I've just gone through, it's quite fast to do transactions. It's quite cheap as well. Fifth largest cryptocurrency, also a bit of a rival to Bitcoin from that point of view as well. So those are just some of the major cryptocurrencies that you want to have on your radar, which are tradable on binary.com as well. Now, what you want to be aware of at the moment is we're still very early on within this technology. So if you're coming to cryptocurrencies right now, you're learning about them, you're understanding them, you're doing transactions, you're still very early. You have to understand that we're still at the beginning of this, where we're still at innovator stage, transacting into or transitioning into early adopter phase. We're nowhere near late majority or the laggards. You know, the cryptocurrency market capitalization is about 200 billion or just above that at the moment. And for it to even climb up to the next asset class along, which is gold, gold's a 7 trillion asset class. Then above that, you've got stock markets, which are over about 75 trillion. And you've got huge, huge other asset classes beyond that, bonds market, the forex market, which are much larger in terms of the overall market caps of those asset classes. Okay, so where are we at the moment with cryptos? We are still at the beginning. So we're still moving from innovation stage to early adoption phase. We're right at the beginning of the curve. And actually, if you missed out on the parabolic move last year and you're getting involved now, or if you've been involved in a while, but you're looking at optimal times to look at accumulate right now, because we've seen such a significant correction this year and we've been through like about 10 months of bear market on cryptos, and you can see what is going to happen from a infrastructure point of view with the launch of backed in TD Ameritrade, activating cryptocurrencies for their clients. And you've also got the prospect of Fidelity as well. And we're coming to a seasonal bullish time of year. You just want to stack probability on your side. Nothing is ever 100% guaranteed in any market. You just have to stack probability on your side. We're at accumulation zones at the moment. We've got the potential to break out as we go into November and December. Right now, cryptos are range bound, but they have the potential to start transitioning into this early adoption phase. And then we'll go through the cycles of early majority, late majority, laggards, and so forth. But right now, we're still at the beginning of this curve with the cryptocurrencies. They're definitely markets you want to learn about. And of course, you can trade them on the binary.com platform as well. Okay, so what I will do, I'm going to go through those, just talk you through them as they relate to the binary platform, and just go through that in terms of the markets that we're looking at right now. So what I will do, I'm just going to share my screen with you. That should come up for you very shortly. Just double check everything, all the settings are okay. So you should be able to see that very shortly on my chart. Okay, hold on. Okay, good. So you should be able to see at the moment where I'm on Ethereum, and I'll just move it over to Bitcoin as well. Okay, so just a quick confirmation. You can see my screen okay. I believe you can. You can see my screen okay, and you can hear me okay as well. Let's just double check. Yep, thanks very much, Sharice. Okay, perfect. Okay, excellent. Right, good. So first of all, let's just have a look at the Bitcoin chart right now, and I'll go through a few points here. Basically, on binary.com and on the MT5 platform at the moment. Now, what you'll want to do, just to bring this up, so if you can't see this within your platform at the moment, if you don't have MetaTrader 5 yet, you want to download it. So within your portal, go to MetaTrader 5. It's now available for clients based in Europe within binary.com. Go within your portal, click on MetaTrader, and download the MetaTrader 5 platform. Okay, so once you start to trigger that for a download, it will bring up the platform. Then you'll have a list of all the markets on the left. You want to right click, go down to show all, which will bring up all of the markets for you. So just show all. I've already clicked that. I can go to hide all and then just show all again. And that will bring up the markets for you. Then if you go down to, for example, and bring out Bitcoin, which is BTC USD, which is the chart I've got at the moment. So you'll just want to bring out the Bitcoin chart. And what I'll do, I'll just show you a raw chart here. And we can just build that up. We'll build up a profile on Bitcoin just to show you how you can actually sort that out and be able to view it properly. First of all, when you actually bring out the chart, it would look as follows. So it'll be a grey chart. You have grey grid lines with a black background, and your overall chart in the foreground there will be green. So what you want to do is just go to right click, go to properties, and from here, bar up, you want that to be line bar down, you want that to be red. We'll remove the grid, just do none. Background black, foreground is white. We'll click OK. So that's all been sorted out. So we've now got the relevant charts there on the screen. What you want to do now is just click on candlesticks, which is our preference. I'll go back to properties and just make sure the bull candle, you want that as green, and you also want the bear candle as red. Okay, so that will just marry it up so you can view the chart in candlesticks. Okay, what I'll do there is I'll right click and I will just go to template and I will save the template, and from there we've got the overall template for Bitcoin. Okay, that's just setting it up within candlestick charts at the moment. A lot of you will already know how to do that. Okay, so we can just have a look at that on the daily chart. I'll put it onto the daily chart, and basically what you'll immediately notice is Bitcoin is a range bound market. We put in the lows here around June and also August as well. We spiked to the upside. That was going back about a week and a half ago, where Bitcoin broke out and spiked when Tether lost quite a lot of it lost its pegging with the US dollar. And with that sell-off that we saw on Tether, we saw Bitcoin break out, significant move back above $7,000 and then retraced again. And you can see here where we're moving within this range at the moment of approximately, actually there's two different levels here I would look at. One level is about 6,800 down to 6,000. The next level of resistance is at $7,000. If you look here at Bitcoin at the moment, we are in fact creating higher lows on the chart, but we are also creating as well lower highs. So if you have a look, just marry that up. The levels that we've seen more recently, we're consolidating, but we are building up into some pressure here, a pennant formation. We're building up into the apex, where at some point I do expect a resolution. And at the moment, we've got another positive day here with Bitcoin, but it's been really range bound. This week, I'm not necessarily expecting the breakout yet. Normally, when we get these big moves on Bitcoin, they tend to happen over the course of weekends. That's normally where we see cryptos really gather momentum, some sort of significant breakout within cryptocurrencies, and that's when they can really surge. And you see these huge moves for Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin and so forth. So very simply, this is what we're looking at the moment with Bitcoin, the accumulation zone and the ultimate buy zone at the moment. It resides just above $6,000, okay? And the sell zone right now, or the take profit zone, is approximately 6,800, and above that 7,000. One useful indicator which a lot of crypto traders do use, you don't want to base your entire trading decisions off this, but a lot of traders do use the Bollinger Bands for cryptos, okay? And you can see that where the price does tend to move quite well between the Bollinger Bands. It's quite useful when you're trading that to look at the lower end of the range as a potential accumulation zone, the upper end of the range as a take profit zone or selling into the market. But with a potential imminent breakout as we go into November and December, I'd be more inclined to just buy at the lower end of the channel. So looking for moves back down to around $6,000 towards the lower end of the channel, and essentially this kind of price action. If we bounce lower, look to be a buyer at the lower end of the range, and then look for a move back towards 6,500 to 6,800 on any dips that we get to that zone, or look to trade a breakout. At some point, we will break out of this recent consolidation. If we break back above 6,600, that's where we could get some decent follow through, taking the price back towards 6,800 and then possibly 7,400 again above that zone. So Bitcoin, you want to be a buyer. Going back to accumulation zones is the optimal area to be buying Bitcoin, or simply trade the recent range on that as well. Both ways work quite well in order to maximize on Bitcoin trades. Now, if you go over to Ethereum, again, very similar. It's been range bound of late. I'm still looking at quite a tight range for this week. It's one of the tightest range that Ethereum has been in of late. Okay, and normally when you have such a tight range like this on Ethereum, once it does resolve itself, it can be a reasonable move. I would again add the Bollinger Bands to this. I see support at the moment coming in for Ethereum between $190 up to $200, and above that resistance at 220 up to about $240, okay, which that then takes us back towards the upper end of the recent Bollinger Bands too. Okay, so that's the profit take zone. Buy zone is around $200 at the moment. Maximum move if we were to see a sell-off right back to support here would be around 190, but I even don't think we'll get that low. I would say right now we're back at that accumulation zone. We've been consolidating since September, very range bound. But at some point, we will likely get that breakout, and I'm looking for that move as we go into November and December. So again, you want to be looking at buying at the accumulation zone, in my opinion, is the best optimal time to be buying at the lower end of the range, which is where we're at right now. So basically, $190 to $200 is the sweet spot at the moment, the accumulation zone. And above that, resistance resides between $220 up to $240. That's the zones that I'm looking at the moment for Ethereum. Okay, and just trading that range for the time being. I would also have a look here on the weekly chart. We're coming right back into a lot of support here, going back to July, August of last year. And you can see how important that zone of approximately $180 was going back to this time last year as well. That support zone around the $180 level and resistance here around the 240 to 250 level. In fact, you can see that quite clearly too if we go over to Bitcoin here again, and you can see here where on the weekly chart we're really building up that pennant. We actually had the first breakout over this month above that pennant where we've been building up quite a lot of pressure for quite some time here on Bitcoin. Finally, this month actually had that significant breakout. It did retrace, but it looks like if you look at that higher time frame or just on the weekly chart at the moment, it looks like we've now broken out of the pennant. And what we could see going, especially into November or even by the end of this week, is if we get a positive close where we've broken out of that pennant, we've had an attempted spike high, we've seen a bit of profit taking, we could start building a base above a lot of this resistance. You can see where we've broken out of that weekly chart, and it hasn't broken to the downside, it's broken out to the upside here. And I can see certainly going to November and December, this additional move here where we could really start to build up momentum. We've got a lot of positive news coming out regarding the ETF, regarding additional exchanges. We're not like a perma bull in the market, which is somebody who's always basically saying you should be buy. We're not saying that. We're saying trade the range. At the moment, the price is at the lower end of the range. We know there's quite a lot of fear. We're still at quite extreme fear in the market for cryptos. You don't want to be chasing the market. You don't want to get FOMO and buy when it's breaking out and chase the move when it's getting to resistance, when everyone's taking their profit. From a trade strategy point of view, you're better off buying at the accumulation zones where there's a better risk to reward, capitalizing on seasonality, capitalizing on fundamentals, what's happening in the markets, keeping up to date with what is happening within the overall crypto space, but not necessarily being of the mindset that, oh, I'll wait until the price breaks back above the all-time highs to get in and so forth, because then you're going to be getting in the market when it's back to extreme greed again, when everybody is getting in at the wrong price. So if you are trading cryptos, you want to ideally be looking at getting in at the lower end of the ranges, getting in when the market is still a bit fearful, when it's consolidating. The lower end of the range right now for Bitcoin is approximately just above $6,000, around 6,100 to 6,200, or it may continue to consolidate here at 6,500 and then springboard from this level higher. I still see resistance around 6,800 to about 7,000. But those are the two I'd really look at the moment. Ethereum around the $190 to $200 level. I do like it at this zone. I think it's getting ready to springboard higher soon once we do get a breakout. Maybe it'll retest the lower end of the Bollinger Band, which will be the accumulation zone, and then we'll see a breakout back towards that resistance level. And I like Bitcoin right now around the 6,000 to 6,300 level. But right now, my opinion is it will remain range bound for this week. Look out for weekends. That's when we can potentially see those big breakout moves in the market. If you want more training on executing trades on MetaTrader 5, we have more trainings coming up as we go into November. And do make sure you go to binary.com YouTube channel as well, where you can watch the trainings on actually how to execute trades on Binary MT5, how you can set up your platform as well. And we'll continue to help you with that and train you on that. But it's perfect that you've now got the MT5. You've got MT5 platform available to you at binary.com, and you can trade, of course, all of the cryptos on there as well. Now, if you do also want to be kept updated with all of the trades that we are doing at the Gold and Silver Club, you want to join our community of successful traders and get access to live trade alerts, our mentorship, expert advice, you can very simply do so. So you can get access to that. You can become a member of the Gold and Silver Club. You just need to go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. If you complete the application form, we will get in touch with you ASAP. I would also make sure you subscribe again to our YouTube channel and the binary.com channel. This recording will be available shortly afterwards. Once it's been uploaded and provided to you, it will be available on binary.com YouTube channel if you want to go through it and rewatch it or share it with anybody who you feel would benefit from learning a bit more about the cryptocurrency markets. And also subscribe to the Gold and Silver Club YouTube channel. That way you get kept updated with all of the latest commodity reports as well. Okay, so I hope that helps, guys. I hope that gives you a little bit of additional understanding about the crypto markets and helps you trading this market as well. I wish you all good trading, of course. Have a fantastic day. We'll definitely catch you on the next one. Okay, all the best. And thanks again to Sharice and binary.com for hosting today's webinar. And we'll speak to you all very soon. Okay, thanks, guys. All the best and good trading. Take care for now. Bye-bye.